Hello students, good morning. Welcome back to accountancy classes. So today we are going to start chapter number 4. As in our last video we have completed chapter number 3. Today we are going to discuss about process and basis of accounting. As you are able to see on the screen that we are going to discuss about the process and basis of accounting. In this chapter we will study about process of accounting, that starts from recording of business transactions and ends on preparation of trial balance. The second topic, that is basis of accounting, means on how many bases accounting can be done: cash basis of accounting and accrual basis of accounting. The next we will discuss, that is distinction between cash basis of accounting and accrual basis of accounting. What are the differences between both bases? And the last point in this chapter that we will discuss, that is hybrid or mixed basis of accounting. Okay. So the first point, process of accounting. You may get confused that we have already discussed about the process of accounting. That was identification, measuring the transaction, recording, classifying, summarizing. That was also the process. And here we are going to discuss that how we will record the transaction, in which statement we first record the transactions, and later on then in which statement we have to record the transactions. So these transactions we will discuss in today's class. So in process, at first we have to identify the transactions. As you are able to see that we have to identify the transactions. Identify means, as I told you, that first of all you have to identify your business transactions, that which transaction is of financial nature or which is non-financial nature. Like as we have discussed about this earlier also, that if you are paying rent of your house, so that is not your business transaction. So out of all the transaction, your first step is there, that you have to identify the business transaction that we have to record in the accounting. Second topic, that is preparation of vouchers. Vouchers means documents, proof on which you are doing your business transaction. If you are going to sell, then you must have a bill of that sale. If you are going to purchase, you must have a bill of that purchase also. If your purchase and sales are in cash, then you must have cash receipt. If they are on credit, then you must have invoices. Because on the basis of these proofs, these bills, we have to do accounting in the latter stage. If you don't have documents, if you don't have any proof, then how will you record your transaction? Suppose that if you are doing one or two transactions, then it is easy for you to remind the transactions, that like in today I did 5 transactions. I sold goods to Ram, Shyam, Geeta, Sita, Mohan. Just you can remind these. But in the same way, if you are doing transaction with 100 customers in a day and you don't prepare any bill, you don't prepare any slip, then how will you remind these? For better understanding or for avoiding from dispute, you have to prepare vouchers in a business. If you prepare vouchers in your business, then easily you may avoid fraud in a business. After preparation of vouchers, recording in books of original entry. Original entry, the meaning of original entry is journal. Means on the basis of voucher, you record your transaction in the journal. Journal is a diary in which we record the transaction in the chronological order. Chronological means date wise. We record the transaction in chronological order. The fourth step, the fourth process is there, posting to ledger. Ledger, what is the meaning of ledger here? Suppose that in 1 year you have dealing with your one customer. Suppose that is Ram. You have dealing with Ram 200 times in 1 year. Means purchase, sell. Like this way, if you are dealing with Ram 200 times in 1 year, and after 1 year, if you are searching Ram's account in your journal, then it will be very difficult for you, because in journal we record the transaction date wise, and in one day there may be a lot of person, there may be a lot of suppliers or customers with whom we are dealing. So you cannot find Ram's account of 1 year. It may take a lot of time, it may take a lot of wastage of time. So to avoid this type of problems, we prepare ledger. Meaning of ledger is that we prepare separate account for every transaction. Like we will prepare separate account for Ram, we will prepare separate account for purchase, for sales, for supplier. For every supplier we will prepare separate ledger. In that ledger we will record all the transactions related to that person. If you can see in your practical life also, a small shopkeeper also prepares ledger if he knows about accounting. So ledger is prepared with help of journal, and in ledger we prepare separate account for every person, for every transaction. And at last step we have to prepare, that is of trial balance and financial statements. What is the meaning of trial balance, financial statement, that we will discuss later in this chapter. So let's start the first step, identification of transactions. Accounting deals with business transactions which are monetary in nature. Monetary in nature means which can expressed in terms of money. In other words, the transactions which cannot be measured and expressed in terms of money cannot be recorded in accounting. For recording business transactions, it is necessary that these transactions are evidenced by an appropriate document, such as cash memo, purchase invoice, sales invoice, pay-in slip, checkbook, passbook, etc., as these all are example of vouchers. A document which provides evidence of the transaction is called the source document. This is a new word for you, that what is the meaning of source document? It is a document which provides evidence of the transaction. Evidence, as I told you, that if you are selling goods to your customer in cash, then you must have a slip, you must have a bill of this sale. So this is also a document of transaction. This is the evidence of transaction. So whatever document is there which provides you evidence of the transaction, that is called the source document. The second point is here, preparation of vouchers. On the basis of source document, entries are first of all recorded on vouchers, and then on the basis of vouchers, recording is made in the journal or books of original entry. Means what you have to do on the basis of source document. Source document, just these are the slips, normal slips. So on the basis of source document, an accountant prepares vouchers, and on the basis of vouchers, entries are recorded in journal, that is also called books of original entry. Means the question may arise here that which book is called book of original entry? So the answer will be here, journal. Journal is the book of original entry, because all the entries are first recorded in journal. Vouchers are printed separately by all the firms. Means all the firms prepare vouchers separately. So now next point. By their own names. Means all the firms prepares vouchers by their own names. A separate voucher is prepared for each transaction, and it specifies the accounts to be debited and credited. Source document is generally attached to the voucher. Sometimes voucher also serves as source document, such as in the case of petty expenses. Petty expenses, what is the meaning of petty expenses? That are very small expenses. Like suppose that if you are going to purchase tea, so tea is for only 10 rupees, 20 rupees, whatever. So these are petty expenses. Or any small expenses that is of 10 rupees, 20, 50, 100 rupees that may be included in petty expenses. So in that case, in the case of petty expenses, your vouchers can be same as source document. Vouchers which are usually arranged in chronological order and serially numbered are kept in a separate file. Suppose that let's take an example of this point. Suppose that you are owner of a shop and you are giving 1,000 rupees to your servant that go in the market and purchase stationery items or some other things that you want in your shop. When the servant returns after purchasing all the things, so you must have taken all the documents of that 1,000 rupees, that how he spent that 1,000 rupees. He is giving you all the bills of stationery shop or any other things, whatever he purchased, he is giving you bill that I purchased these items. So on the basis of that bills, you will prepare voucher in your shop. And that vouchers are prepared serial numbered. Try to know the exact meaning of these vouchers. That vouchers are prepared in a business according to dates, means in chronological order, or serially numbered also. Like in one day, if you are doing 10 transactions, so serial number will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Like this way, it will be serially numbered. And all the vouchers will be kept in a separate file. These are the evidences of transaction. These are very important document of a business. The third point is recording in books of original entry. The books in which transactions are recorded for the first time from a voucher or a source document are called books of original entry. Like in the last point, we have prepared separate voucher for each transaction. So now on the basis of these vouchers, we will record these transactions in a separate book. That book is called journal or books of original entry. Journal is one of the books of original entry in which transactions are recorded in chronological order, means day to day. Chronological day to day order according to the principle of double entry system. Double entry system means every transaction gives effect at least on 2 accounts, that is called double entry system. So when the size of the business is a small one, it may be possible to record all the transactions in the journal. But when the size of the business grows and the number of transactions is very large, journal is subdivided into a number of books called subjournals or special journals. These are the very important points. Suppose that if you are an owner of only a small shop, that small shop may be like a tea stall or any stall that business is of small size. So journal is suitable for all the transaction. Easily you may record all the transaction in only one book, that is journal. But if your business is of large size, there are a large number of transactions in your business, then you have to subdivide your journal, means that are called subsidiary books. There are some 6 or 7 books that are the part of journal that are called subsidiary books. So we have to subdivide the journal if our business size is large. For example, all transactions relating to receipts and payment of cash are recorded in cash book. The new book is here, cash book. What is the meaning of cash book? Cash book, as the name is denoting, that cash book includes all the cash transactions. Cash receipts and cash payments are recorded in cash book. All transactions relating to credit purchase in purchase book. These books are subsidiary books. In purchase book, we record all the transactions that are of credit purchase. All transactions related to credit sales in sales book. If we are dealing with credit sales, that will be recorded in sales book, and so on. So on means there will be 3 or 4 more books like bills receivable book, bills payable book. As I told you about bills receivable and bills payable terms also. So we have to prepare the separate books for these transactions also. So these all are called subsidiary book. So in subsidiary book you includes cash book, purchase book, sales book, bills receivable book, bills payable book, purchase return book, sales return book and journal proper. Try to remind these 8 books in subsidiary books of journal. The question may arise here that what are the subsidiary books of journal and when do we need subsidiary books? So your answer will be that when a business is of large size, when our business is growing and transaction is of very large number, then we need subsidiary books, and the names of subsidiary books are cash book, purchase book, sales book, purchase return book, sales return book, bills receivable book, bills payable book, and the last is journal proper. These 8 books are called subsidiary books. And how we record the transaction in these books? Like cash book, we will record all the cash transaction in cash book. Purchase book, we will record credit purchase in purchase book. We will record credit sales in sales book. We record bills receivable transaction in bills receivable book. Bills payable transaction in bills payable book. Purchase return, if there is any purchase return, then we will record it in purchase return book. If there is any sales return, then we will record it in sales return book or journal proper. The transactions which are not recorded in all these 7 books, that will be recorded in journal proper. Like if you are purchasing any asset in credit, that will be recorded in journal proper. Now the confusion may be in your mind that ma'am, now you told me that credit purchase will be recorded in purchase book. But the difference is here that credit purchase of goods only will be recorded in purchase book. If you are purchasing asset on credit, so that will be recorded in journal proper. Try to know the difference very carefully. So about these books we will discuss in our next chapters. That is detailed description of these books. So don't worry about these books. Just I am giving only the briefly introduction of these books. So recording of transaction in special journal instead of journal only is called practical system of bookkeeping. The very important point is here. What is the meaning of practical system of bookkeeping? Practical system of bookkeeping includes that recording of transactions in special journals instead of journal only. If you are recording the transaction in your subsidiary books instead of only one book, so that is called practical system of bookkeeping. These special journals are also called subsidiary books, as these facilitate the preparation of ledger. Because when you have prepared proper journals, so easily you can prepare your ledger also. You can post your transaction into ledger also. So the next step, that is 4th step, is posting to ledger. On the basis of journal entries, we will post our transaction to ledger. The next step in the accounting process is to transfer all entries recorded in journal or subsidiary books to respective accounts in the ledger. A ledger is the principal book of accounts in which all the transactions ultimately find their place under their respective accounts in a duly classified form. Ledger is the principal book of accounts. Try to know this point. Ledger is the principal books of accounts in which all the transactions ultimately find their place under their respective accounts. For recording in ledger, all transactions are classified and transactions of similar nature are recorded at one place in an account opened in their name, which will provide a complete picture of all the transactions relating to them at a glance. Thus, in ledger, separate accounts are opened in the name of each person, whether customer or supplier. As I told you that in ledger we prepare separate accounts of every person. That every person may be your customer also, maybe your supplier also. Likewise, separate accounts are opened for assets, for liabilities, purchase, sales, etc. Similarly, all incomes and expenses which are already recorded in journal are again classified under separate heads in ledger, such as salary account, rent account, discount account, etc. In simple way, you can say that in ledger we prepare separate account for similar type of transactions. Like in 1 year, you are paying salary 12 times, that you know about every month. So in 1 year, if you are paying salary 12 times, so we will prepare the separate account for salary, and in that account, we will record all the salaries paid during the year. In the same way, if in 1 year we are purchasing the goods 200 times, so that all purchase will be recorded in purchase account. So easily, whenever we want the information related to purchase, we can find in purchase account. Otherwise, you may get confused in your journal. How will you find in journal? It is not possible. So we prepare the ledger accounts for good information or for correct information at time. And the last step is preparation of trial balance and financial statements. What is the meaning of trial balance? Trial balance, it will be a statement that will check your arithmetical accuracy. Arithmetical accuracy means after preparing ledger accounts, you prepare trial balance, and in trial balance we will record all the balances of ledger accounts. And there are two columns in trial balance. One is of debit amounts and the second one is of credit amounts. If your debit and credit tallies, if both amounts, both totals matches at last, it means your all the ledger accounts are correct. So you can say the trial balance checks the arithmetical accuracy of business, of ledger accounts. So last step in the accounting process is the balancing of ledger accounts and the preparation of trial balance with the help of such balances. A trial balance is a statement prepared with the debit and credit balances of ledger accounts to check the arithmetical accuracy of posting and balancing of ledger accounts. If a trial balance does not tally, it indicates the some errors in posting or balancing of accounts have occurred and steps are taken to locate and rectify such errors. As the trial balance contains the balance of all ledger accounts, it provides a basis for preparation of financial statement, namely trading and profit and loss account and balance sheet. So what will you do? That a trial balance is prepared to check the arithmetical accuracy. How arithmetical accuracy? Let's take an example. Suppose that you have purchased goods from Ram of rupees 20,000. You have purchased goods from Ram of 20,000, and now you know that the effect of this transaction will be on two accounts, that are purchase account and Ram's account. You are purchasing goods, so first account will be affected, that is purchase account, and your supplier is Ram, so the second account will be Ram's account. So you know that we have to enter this transaction in two accounts, in Ram's account and in purchase account. Okay. So suppose that in one account you have posted it correctly, that is 20,000. But in Ram's account you entered this transaction only of 2,000, because that may be the mistake of 0. It is a common mistake. On the place of 20,000 you entered 2,000. So the differential amount you can know in trial balance. When you prepare ledger accounts, you will not know your mistake, that by mistake we have entered only 2,000. But when you will prepare trial balance, that time you will find this mistake, because your trial balance will not tally, because you have done a mistake of 18,000. On the place of 20,000, you enter the data 2,000. It means 18,000 is the differential amount that will affect your trial balance. So with the help of trial balance, we can check the arithmetical accuracy of ledger accounts, and after preparing the trial balance, we have to put the data in our financial statements, and financial statements includes three statements, that is trading account, profit and loss account, and balance sheet. These are very important discussion points. These are very important accounts of accountancy subset. These will be helpful for your future also in 11th class and 12th class. Every time you have to prepare these accounts. These are very important: trading account, profit and loss account, and a balance sheet. So we have discussed about the process of accounting. It was the process. Again, I'm revising what is the meaning or what are the process of accounting, or I'm showing with the help of camera. Easily you can check, easily you can revise the topic. Yes. So our first process, that was identification of transaction. Identification means which transaction is of monetary nature and which is business transaction. That you have to identify first, and after identifying whatever you are going to purchase, you have to prepare source document. Source document means it is a document that evidence the transaction. That is the source document. The second point, that we have to prepare vouchers on the basis of source document. On the basis of source document, we prepare vouchers. Third point, that is journal. On the basis of vouchers, we record the transaction in journal, that is books of original entry. And in journal, transactions are recorded in chronological order. Chronological means day-to-day order or date-wise. We record the transaction in journal. And if your business is of large size, so you have to prepare some subsidiary books of journal. That subsidiary books are cash book, purchase book, sales book, purchase return book, sales return book, bills receivable book, bills payable book, and journal proper. So if you prepare these, so if you prepare these all subsidiary books instead of only one journal, so that is called practical system of bookkeeping. Okay. The fourth point after journal, that is ledger posting. Ledger posting means preparing separate account for every business transactions. And the last point in this, that is preparation of trial balance and financial statements. Trial balance means it is a statement that checks the arithmetical accuracy of ledger accounts, and after preparing the trial balance, we prepare the financial statement that includes three statements, that are trading account, profit and loss account, or the third one, that is balance sheet. We prepare these three accounts in financial statement. Okay. As I told you that in if trial balance does not tally, it means there is a mistake in your trial balance. There is a mistake in your ledger accounts, there is a mistake in your ledger accounts. So these are the 5 process of accounting that we have to follow while done accounting. When we do accounting, we have to follow these 5 steps. These are the process of accounting. In next class, we will discuss about the basis of accounting of same chapter. So that's all for today. Thank you so much.